I'm sure anyone who's been modelling in On30 for some time and has or still owns some Bachmann locomotives will be well aware of the issue concerning split and stripped gears, and the 040 Davenport gas mechanical is no exception to that. I've got about probably at least 8 Davenports in my fleet, and also 2 or 3 critters, one of which I think is a box cab, that use the same chassis. So it's obviously a bit of an issue for me, and pretty much all of them have needed gears replacing at one time or another, even in the case of 2 that I bought brand new in their boxes with the original cellophane wrapping. Without getting into too much detail, the issues really caused as a result of, at least in my opinion, the type of plastic that was used when they were moulding the gears, and also the very process of moulding, and then a hole in the centre, which I'm sure is a moulded hole, can create local stress areas, and also fluctuations in temperature and humidity during the course of any one year when a locomotive is stored, whether it's put away in its box or just sat on a layout somewhere. And of course also the gears are pressed onto a splined axle. This is a modified one, but so there's, if you like, a knurling on the axle, and the gears are factory pressed onto that, which puts local stress. So combination of all of that sadly results in usually the main drive gears just underneath here, under the cover plate. There'll be 2, one on each of the 2 axles. Usually one, sometimes both of those split, and when that happens, if you've attempted to run the Loco, it usually removes 1 or 2 of the teeth off the adjacent double spur gear. Now, Bachmann have kept spares for this on and off, more lately off than on, for some time, and it's quite an old discontinued locomotive now, so it really does beg the question how much longer they're going to keep these spares for. I suspect probably not much longer. They've sold them and sell them in gear sets, so you can buy the whole set of gearbox gears along with the 2 gears for the drive axles. They also sell the complete wheel and gear assemblies, complete with the side rods and cranks already on, again from time to time. So one way to get around this, I thought you might be interested in, and people have asked me if I could explain how I've gone about this, and now I've just started this YouTube channel. I'm just a relative beginner, but I thought I'd go over things with you. I'll try and do this, and I hope the camera remains in focus on the tripod. But these are brass gears that I've bought in from China. I don't particularly want to divulge the supplier I've got, because they don't keep that many of them, but for those that wanted the technical detail, these are 14 tooth 0.4 modulus. That's really all you need to know if you are searching for them. And they come usually, well, these certainly, with a 1.98mm hole in the centre. Now that needs opening up. I haven't got my decent calipers with me today, but I just had a quick check, and it looks to be around about 2.7mm. So you've got to open this hole out to a suitable size that will enable it to be pressed onto the knurled part of the axle. Now that's obviously for you to work out what sort of tolerance to allow for that. A broach may well do the job okay, or a series of drills, but you need to get it accurate for obvious reasons. In my case, I don't have a lathe anymore, though I used to. So I got a friend to do this for me. So he's made up this jig, which usually is just brass, drilled right through, and then bored at this end to accommodate the diameter of the gear. It's quite a snug fit. So you'd basically put the gear into the end here, push it in, lightly push it in, make sure you get it square, Then you can put this in a lathe chuck and spin it up and drill to whatever size you want to go ahead with. And then when you've done that, if you can just tap the end here, remove it from the chuck, tap the end, it will then push the gear back out. So that's how these have been done by a good friend. You can see I've already got some axles here already made up, ready to go back in. And that fixes the problem. Because some people remove one of the axle drive gears rather than having two, which they argue smooths things out a bit more, because you've still got to get the quartering right on the cranks. It's a whole mass of spare cranks and side rods over here. So that's basically how you go about it. Taking the Loco apart is not too difficult. You've got these two screws here, which are the cover plate screws. So if you lift that off, you can then pull out the axles with their respective gears assembly, and then removing that one there and this one here will remove this section out. The body comes off quite easily. Obviously this isn't a how-to article, but it's not too difficult to find your way around this. The motor fixes in with a little small plastic clip, and before you know it, you've got it pretty much apart. But to replace these, you only need this cover plate off and the axles. If, however, it's broken one of the teeth or more than one tooth of the spur gear, you'll need to replace all the axle gears, gearbox gears as well. They all come on little tiny 1mm shafts, so it's a bit fiddly. I have considered putting a how-to article together in a PDF form, which I've made a start on. So if anybody's interested, and please do, by the way, like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see and hear more from my On30 layout called Black Dog Mine. I'm a relative beginner, but I'm hoping this will help people. Obviously put a comment in there as well, and then I can let you know when I've got the PDF available, although I'm not promising when. So that's basically how you can go about this. Replace the brass gears, job done. You'll never need any more spares, hopefully. It's a great locomotive, I love it, and as I say, I've got quite a lot of them now, but yes, they do have gear issues. There has been a rumour that Bachmann were considering, I think they were being half talked into it, in producing another Davenport, which probably would have metal gears. So whether that ever happens or not, I don't know. And if that is the case, will they be interchangeable with these? Probably not. Certainly some spares have been out of stock for quite some time now. For example, you can't get a spare motor for this anymore. But anyway, they're great. They're generally reliable once you've got the gear issue sorted. So I've no plans to move any of mine on in the near future. Anyway, I hope that's of some help. As I say, it's not a monetized channel, this, so, but it would be helpful if you could like the videos and also subscribe. Good luck with your modelling.